So we are going to make the hair for the character. We are going to make the hair with XGen, and XGen is very dependent on the project folder. So you want to make sure that you have set the project folder correctly. And I'm going to from file menu, and I am hitting project window and just making sure that project windows is set. And because we are using a Metahuman, it's set to the Metahuman folder, which is okay. So I'm going to go to the XGen workspace, and I'm going to select, actually, before doing that, I want to make sure, let's see, this is the head that is actually has blend shape and everything on it. Let me see if it's true. No, it's actually a copy of it, and it's okay. So I wanna make a geometry, another geometry, and I'm going to add this geometry to a layer and call it XGen. And I'm going to remove the unwanted areas and selecting faces, and the area that I don't want to have, like these areas, I'm going to remove it. And of course the ear, don't want to have ears too, and it's okay for now. And I'm going to keep this head and adding to another layer because I need to have this head and unselectable. So let's call it head. And this is not selectable, but I can select the XGen layer. So I back to XGen workspace, and actually this is a bug. Sometimes XGen is not loaded. The only thing that you can do is just open the file again. So I'm going to open the file again. And XGen is actually very buggy, and you need to understand the bugs and workarounds. Unfortunately, they haven't updated XGen, I don't know, since like 4 years ago, and it is still very buggy, but this is the only option, the only valid option we can use. Because if you are working as a CGI artist, you want to stick to XGen because it is kind of a standard, industry standard for CGI. And so XGen Windows is loaded, and I'm going to create a description, and I'm calling it Victor for description, and the collection is going to be eyebrows, and selecting placing and shaping guides, and create. Okay, and hopefully it's not going to crash, and I apparently it's not making the hair, and we have to restart Maya because yeah, this is the thing about XGen. You need to be patient and it is buggy. So we are back and I made it again and I didn't cut the video, so in case you encounter the problem, the issue of crashing, you know that it's from XGen and you don't need to be worried about it. It's normal. So I made the XGen description again and it called it, because I already had it, this time it put a number on it automatically and call it and name it Victor 1. And I'm going to start with eyebrows, and I'm going to start with placing guides, and I'm starting with 2 guides, and actually take a look at actually I'm removing one of the guides and I'm trying to shape it. With this tool you can shape guides, and it's a little bit long. I'm making it shorter. Another guy, and I am keeping an eye on the eyebrow to have the shape exactly. And by pressing G, I can select the last tool. And after 3 guides, we can actually have the next guide will conform to the previous guides after 3 guides. And actually now if I place a guide, as you can see, it is already confirming to the shape. And so I want to make this shape and placing the guide. And each eyebrow has its special shape, its own shape, and this eyebrow is actually has its unique shape, and we need to replicate its uniqueness. And one thing about Metahuman, by default, the camera clipping, near clip plane is very high, and you can change it. And so whenever I press F to focus, it's not going to go into the geometry. So I'm trying to replicate exactly the same shape of the eyebrow. Unfortunately, we encountered that bug again, and I'm trying to bring it back, but I think it's not going to work. I have to save it and open it again. And as I said, XGen is cumbersome, is buggy as hell. So the file is loaded, I'm back, and I'm going to hide the hair. Actually, I want to replicate this shape here. I need to change them a little. And I think these guides are kind of okay. So I am going to continue to make a few more guides. Because these areas are not affected by the other guys, and it's kind of each new guide is going to have the default shape, and we want to define it so it will have the shape that we want. Because if I place a guide here, it is going to confirm, but if I place it here, as you can see, because there is no guide to guide the guide to have what shape it should have. So I think it's okay. Now I'm going to increase density, and I'm going to adjust width. And for some reason it doesn't work. I don't know why. Okay. So I can see the flow, and I can decide if I'm happy with it. Maybe I can increase the density to 300 so I can see the flow better. And let's hide the camera here, and I want to have this triangle. I actually have this, but here is the problem. I need to adjust this guide. Okay, now let's continue by adding the map for eyebrow, and I'm going to create the mask map, and resolution maybe 20, and it should be black. And let me see if I can actually go to channel box and hide the underneath the geometry, and I click on this paint icon, and it's going to be black, but I want to see the eyebrow, so I can reveal that and I'm going to paint, and the paint that I select is this hard brush, not this one, because it's going to blur the surrounding of the brush, which I don't want. And I'm going to strike actually, sorry for my bad English. And now I can hide this. Actually, I forgot to set the color. I can hide this, okay. Now, I can do something that is interesting. I can add some, let's add another material and assign the same texture. But with transparency for this one, so I'm able to see the okay, let's see what's and okay, now yep, as you can see, I can see the underneath by having transparency, and also my painting, so I can control it. By holding control, I can actually remove the eyebrow area, or actually adding black to the texture, which is removing the eyebrow area. And maybe guide is helping me to see where I need to attach them. And this area, if you take a look at the eyebrow, you can see here is the hair is thinner, so to replicate that, we can actually reduce the color, and by holding actually no, let's do something else. I can blur it by holding the shift key. Oh, it's too much, and unfortunately it is kind of buggy, and sometimes Control Z doesn't work. I can do this maybe. As you can see, the blur is kind of, if I go to the blur, the reason is that the brush size is bigger, and that's why you should go to the blur instead of holding shift, and I can control the brush size here. Now I'm going to blur in this area. And by holding now back to paint, and by holding the control key, I can paint black, and I'm using this brush right now because I want kind of soften the edge, but actually finally I'm going to use that hard brush to clean the area that I don't want to have hairs. And now I can save it, and as you can see I have some hair here that I don't want, and I have to select this hard and clean this area and save it again. Oh, it looks okay, kind of, but let's hide the guides and take a look at it. And we need to clean this area by hard brush, save, okay. Now actually I want to make this area thinner a little bit, and by holding the control key I can make it thinner. Let's save it. Select the geometry, select the paint, and hopefully it is going to work. And let's hide the guides, hide the hair, and I'm going to select this one and make it thinner in this area, and this area too. Not too much, but save it, and looks okay, kind of too thin, but no, it's okay. Okay. So now, actually, I want this staring, I mean, random hair, because it's kind of natural. So right now it doesn't look very natural because we haven't add modifiers yet. I'm going to add modifier, clamping, and it says you need to set up clamp, and I'm going to add 10 density and generate to see it's enough. No, it's not enough. Maybe 30. Generate. No. 50. Generate. Maybe 60. Generate and save. And we have this shape. And also I'm going to add noise modifier, noise, and frequency. I think that magnitude 0. and also adding cut modifier. It's okay. So looks good. I want to make sure it's conform to the actual shape. Okay, I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to select the guide. Oh, select the guide, and I forgot actually. I wanted to duplicate the same thing here, but I forgot to apply mirror. But remember, next time, if you want to paint, remember that you can have mirror. So I'm going to mirror the guides, and let's have painting on the other side. Exactly the same thing. And okay, it's gonna paint. What one thing we can do is actually enabling mirror reflection, and now I can define the area that I want to have the hair. Okay. Now I'm going turning off mirror because I don't want to ruin this section. And I'm going to paint this area, and then by holding the control key I can remove that. And because I'm selecting this soft brush, I can kind of thinner that area. And now I'm going to select the hard brush to fix these areas. And if I save it, you can see it's kind of okay, but I like this random hairs. I think I need to add some here to have thicker hair. The thing about this artisan tool is that even you don't see the actual value of the brightness or white or black, and you kind of have to guess. As you can see, as I save it, it's going to take care of that. Okay, I think that's enough. And let's have a look. And I think that the density, that is too much. Maybe 100, maybe 200. Yeah, 200 seems to be fine. And looks okay. So I'm going to save it. And actually something that I don't like is that if I need some guide here, because as you can see, this area needs some guide. I'm mirroring it, and yeah, it's okay. I can make them a little taller, so the hair is more visible. And I think that maybe the clumping modifier needs to have more density, maybe 100, generate and save, and it looks better. Looks okay to me, but actually something is still not right, because it goes like this, but I want it to be like this. And so I think we need to change the, actually we select the geometry, and I need to change the flow, and I'm going to enable reflection, and I'm going to, by holding the control key, I'm deleting some of them and now adding some. So I'm changing the flow, and also I need to make that last part thinner. And now I'm going to disable reflection and make this part, make that part. Okay. And because we need to use hard brush to remove the areas that we don't want to have hair, save, and as you can see, it removed. And we need to adjust the okay, we need to adjust the guides too, so we can select add guide tool, and by holding control key I can move them by adding control key. or maybe adding some guides. Okay. Looks fine. I'm playing with density to see if denser eyebrow is helping, and yeah, I think 300 is better. We can control the, I mean, it's very hard to guess how it's going to look like in Unreal, but I'm going to with higher density for now. Maybe I can change it later. So before sending it to Unreal, we need to convert it to interactive, and from generate I can convert to interactive and convert, and in the outliner I have the interactive one. I'm going to actually, you need to select that. You need to select the XGen and then convert it, convert to interactive, convert, and we have a interactive one. So I'm going to hide the XGen and I'm going to interactive, and here is the interactive one. You can add, you can go ahead and brush it, but I mean it looks okay. Now for exporting it from description cache and export cache, and I'm going to call it eyebrow, and make sure that you select, this is only current frame because we don't want to export the entire range, and also multiple transform, and let's have a folder, hey, eyebrows, and export. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the video here, and I'm back in Unreal. So I upgraded to Unreal 5, and the shader are compiling, and I'm going to make, before adding here, we need to go to plugin manager, plugin actually, and type groom, and enable Alembic groom importer, restart, and okay, save it, and I'm going to make a folder, call it hair, and import the groom, and on a scale I'm inputting -1 on the X, and on rotation on Z I input 100 degree and import it. You need to do that. And for some reason, sometimes the lighting is not. I mean, we have to. I believe that when the shade, the compiling is finished, it is going to be fine. But let's actually make a new scene and have the character with the correct lighting. And now I can go to the blueprint for the character, and I'm going to, actually you can use the same hair here, or you can make one. So I'm going to use this one. Before doing that, I'm going to make the binding. So we are going to make binding, create binding, and select the face that is called, I named it new face, and create binding, save it, and back to, sometimes if you use the per defined one, something goes wrong. I'm trying to, if the placement of the eyebrow is not correct, maybe you should make a new groom. I'm enable visibility, and actually this time that didn't happen. I think it was a problem with other version, but now it's okay. And it's okay, we just need to adjust the color, and we can open the material, and here we have the eyebrow. Actually, for the material, I can go and make a special material for it, but redness, maybe it's too much. Maybe, I don't know why it's not applied. Melanin, actually for the material we need to make a special one for it, because this hair has its own. For now, let's stick to this material and take a look at the eyebrow. I'm pretty happy with it. Or maybe we can make it a little thinner. Actually, the tip of the hair can be thinner. Yes, it's here. Tip scale, like if I apply 0, yeah, it's fine, because he doesn't have a very thick eyebrow, and we just need to have some kind of subtle eyebrow there. And later we are going to change the color. So, and in another tutorial I will talk about the color and materials. For now it's okay, and I'm going to wrap up this video.